Hi, Tasha. How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your work. Craig's Trinkets, it is. All right, let's see what we have here. Um, Project Overview of Small Business Project. Okay, so basic retail app, excellent. Then we have Project Goal. Good job on your project goal. Yes, this defines things beautifully. Nice work there. Target audience is underdeveloped. You want to really develop this target audience to a very high degree. It's reasonable to say that the success of any user-centered design project should include a very detailed description of the target audience, including demographics. And I think it's also a good idea to base your target audience on research instead of kind of just coming off with it. Instead of writing it off the top of your head, try to determine by research the demographic features of those individuals that use retail online. And then you want to include that demographic in your target audience, since we're looking for people who are the demographic of people who are using apps to order retail online, as well as including some information on their technical aptitude regarding technical proficiency on apps and online um, mediums, etc. Okay. Um, Yeah, you want to also you want to get some you want to base this definitely on research for sure. If you go to the examples in the course announcements, the examples for week 2, and example number 2, you'll see an outstanding, very well developed target audience page. My recommendation is that you go ahead and review that and maybe try to base yours on the type of research that is you'll see present in that page. Okay, on to the project analysis. This is good. Good job here. Project overview, functions and features. Shop in real-time, checkout, mail to different address. Sounds good. Okay, competitors. Now, this is really hard to follow. So what I would like you to do is, again, go and look at some of the competition of the comparative analysis in some of the examples that I've posted in various areas in the classroom. Because right now, this first page, I'm not sure who the competitor is here. So you've got competitors: Frankly Natural Beauty, Grandma's Gem, M&M Thrift Store, and then locations. I don't know what that means. Is that a competitor? It's listed under competitors, so I'm not real sure. Then we don't have these. You're listing these as the competitors, but you're not showing the features of the competitors here. Okay, so this is really difficult to follow. My recommendation would just be go right into the competitors. Forget this kind of preview into the competitors and go right into the competitor. Project overview, competitors, name the competitor. So Square Read Terminals. Okay, but again, we have another issue here because right now you're saying all 3 competitors have Square readers and terminals. So you're not comparing an individual competitor, right? You're comparing 3 competitors. Now, if we jump over to the requirements for competition, we can see that you want to list 3 competitors and you want to include the pros and cons in 3 different areas. The pros and cons of the visual interface, the pros and cons of the function of the app, and the pros and cons of the usability of the app. Then you would list the app, pros and cons all the way around for those 3 criteria. And then I would recommend you show an image of the app, a couple of screenshots of the app itself. Okay, then we go to the second page of the competition, and we have functionality and features of app 2. What is app 2? Is this it? Is it called easy order? Then again, don't forget, we need the pros and cons in these 3 areas. Okay, visual interface, function of the app, and its usability. And we would need to see that for all 3 competitors. Okay, formats for a clickable prototype. Here, all you have to do here is just name the format you're going to use. You don't have to go through all of these descriptions and that. Just name the prototype tool you're going to use. Okay, and then this. I'm not real sure what this is. Craig's Trinkets Guideline. Yeah, I don't really see this to I don't see the benefit of including this in the process book. Mood board's good. Okay, personas. Now the personas are underdeveloped. Again, if you go to that example I told you about, example number 2, you can see a nice list of criteria to include for the personas. But what you want to do basically is when you define your target audience, you're going to include demographics of that target audience based on research, right? What you want to do in your personas is you want to include that demographic to define your persona. Okay, so for example, here, occupation, medieval collector, is that an occupation or is that a hobby? So if she doesn't work, she's making $85,000 a year collecting medieval figures. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You see what I'm saying? Her occupation is, maybe she's a medieval collector and dealer. Maybe she's a medieval figures dealer. Okay, interests, medieval trinkets, and you list out all of her interests. You really want to define this person to a very, very, very high degree. Let us know her attitudes, her interests, her objectives, her demographic information, her proficiency with technology, her attitudes, and so on and so forth. We need as much information on these personas as possible, and that allows us to create what's called empathy with the persona. That allows us to get into the way that the individual listed in the persona thinks, which will help us understand her need for using the app and her want for using the app, as well as how the app is going to change some of her usual practices, and those practices and everything has to be listed. Okay, okay, so we have scenario without Lizzie is somebody to shop with an app, so she must go to the location of the app hopes. Right. Okay, so she doesn't have an app, so she's got to go to the location. Cashier is not available during resolution. Go home without purchases. Problem number 2, power outage. Okay, so with app. Okay, got it. That's good. That's good. Now, don't forget, you have to storyboard these out. So one story, well, I saw your storyboards. We'll talk about that in a second, though. So over here, we've got the next flight attendant, 65,000, married, interest, bold user, technical. So this is a little better, but we still definitely want to include more information. And then we have scenario, unable to shop with app. She must go to location. This is the same scenario as the first. Locate another store, cashier is not available. Yeah, this is the same. You don't want to duplicate scenarios. Scenarios should be completely different. So we have a really good idea of many different situations for which the user can use the app to help any perceived issues. Okay, so you want to completely change up the app for your second persona. And then here's your third persona. Yeah, we need more information here for sure. Yeah, so those are underdeveloped. Yep, yeah, this is kind of basically the same scenario as the first. So you definitely, yeah, the scenarios definitely need some work here. We want to create 3 completely separate and unique scenarios depicting very, very different personas in terms of their demographic, I'm sorry, in terms of their basic age, and their relationship to the overall demographics in the target audience. Okay, these are underdeveloped as well. Again, if you take a look at the course announcements for week 2, you'll see, and actually I've got those, all of the examples have nice depictions of what a storyboard should actually look like. So basically my recommendation is to label your storyboard. Try to make your sketches just so they don't have to be, I mean, they don't have to be Rembrandt quality, but you want to make them just a little bit neater than this. Okay, and I would recommend doing traditional storyboard, which means you start at the left, move to the right, then go to the next column, start at the left, and move to the right. In storyboarding, we don't go from the right image down to the next image and then across to the left. Okay, so, and definitely want to label those storyboards. Same thing with scenario 1 with app, and then the same thing with your other scenarios. So when you rewrite your scenarios, you'll have to redo the sketches as well. Okay, over here it looks like we've got some wireframe sketches. That's good. We don't forget we want to sketch out all screens in the app, and then you want to basically use your wireframe sketches as your paper prototypes for testing. Wireframes here look pretty good. Pretty basic here. We're going to end up designing a couple of these. Here's good mock-ups here. You should have 3 mock-up pages. Looks like you have 4. Excellent. All right, so excellent job. Great start, Tasha. Go ahead and address the comments that I have talked about here. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. But go ahead and shoot for making those adjustments that I have described in the last several minutes in your video. And again, of course, please let me know if you have any questions at all. All right, excellent. Thank you very much, Tasha.